We often think of materials as inert and unchanging, but biology teaches us a very different story. Many natural materials, skin, bone, plant tissues, can sense damage and actively repair themselves. This ability to heal is the hallmark of responsive and adaptive materials in living organisms. But just like a cut on your finger only heals so far before scarring, there is a critical threshold of damage beyond which self-repair no longer succeeds. What determines that limit, and what mechanisms kick in to restore integrity up to that point? First, let's ask, why does any self-healing even happen? In tissues like skin, specialized cells called fibroblasts rush to a wound site, deposit new collagen, and rebuild the matrix. In bone, osteoblasts and osteoclasts work in concert to replace damaged bone with fresh, mineralized tissue. Plants, too, form a protective cork layer and then regenerate vascular bundles behind it. In each case, damage triggers a cascade of chemical and mechanical signals that recruit repair machinery. Imagine a construction crew arriving to rebuild a collapsed wall immediately after the damage occurs. But how much damage can this crew handle? That's the critical threshold, the maximum extent of injury that still allows a controlled, complete repair. For skin, minor scrapes and small incisions heal seamlessly, but beyond a few millimeters, the tissue may form scar tissue rather than perfect regeneration. In bone, hairline fractures mend beautifully, whereas severe breaks may require metal rods or grafts. The threshold is set by factors like the number of surviving repair cells, available nutrients, and the speed at which damage outpaces repair. It's similar to how a small pothole on a road can self-seal with a little asphalt, but a deep sinkhole needs heavy machinery to fix. What exactly triggers the repair process? Cells use sensors, mechanical strain receptors, chemical receptors for growth factors, and damage-associated molecular patterns to detect that something is wrong. Calcium ions flood in, trigger inflammation, and unleash enzymes that clear debris. Growth factors such as TGFB then direct cells to proliferate and lay down new matrix. Even the stiffness of the surrounding tissue influences the fate of stem cells, telling them whether to become bone, cartilage, or scar tissue. It's like an emergency alarm system that not only calls the repair crew, but hands them the right tools. Can we see these ideas in everyday biology? Absolutely. If you nick your skin shaving, you'll notice a small scab and then a new layer of skin forming over a week. That tiny wound was well below your personal repair threshold. But a severe laceration often needs stitches and leaves a scar. Your repair machinery was overwhelmed. In plants, a small leaf tear seals itself with pectin and lignin, but a broken branch beyond a certain diameter simply dies back and cannot rejoin. Why does the system fail past the threshold? Repair consumes energy, cellular resources, and time. Overextended repair efforts can lead to chronic inflammation, fibrosis, or improper tissue architecture. The body must balance perfect healing against the cost of endless regeneration. Evolution has tuned this balance, heal small wounds perfectly, but mark large ones as permanent so resources aren't wasted. It's like a homeowner who patches small holes in the wall themselves, but calls a contractor when the entire drywall needs replacing. The study of these natural thresholds inspires bioinspired materials in engineering. Researchers embed microcapsules of glue in polymers so that small cracks trigger release and seal themselves. Others layer responsive gels that stiffen when strained and then reshape once the load goes away. These synthetic systems borrow from biology's playbook. Sense damage, mobilize repair, and stop when the work is done, just below the critical threshold. In summary, self-healing in biological materials hinges on damage sensing, resource mobilization, and a built-in limit to how much repair can occur. The critical threshold varies by tissue and species, but always reflects a balance between cost and benefit. By understanding why and how biology heals, we can design materials that mimic these adaptive strategies, building the next generation of living materials that respond and recover on demand. Self-healing biological materials possess the ability to autonomously restore structural integrity when damaged. The critical threshold refers to the minimum extent of damage, typically defined in terms of strain, crack width, or molecular rupture, required to activate the healing response. Below this threshold, the material does not respond, conserving energy resources. The threshold is governed by both biochemical triggers and physical parameters like stress intensity and displacement. Understanding this threshold is crucial for designing materials that can recover function under realistic physiological loads. In engineered cartilage hydrogels, self-repair only initiates when compressive strain exceeds 10%, mimicking natural tissue response under joint pressure. It's like a doorbell that only rings if you press it firmly enough. Gentle touches are ignored to avoid false alarm. Biomaterials detect damage through embedded mechanosensors that respond to physical deformation. These may include proteins, molecular switches, or stress-sensitive bonds that undergo conformational changes upon strain. Upon reaching the threshold, these sensors trigger downstream responses such as enzyme release, chemical cross-linking, or cellular recruitment. In natural tissues, mechanosensitive ion channels play a key role in activating repair pathways. Synthetic analogs mimic this using reversible bonds or strain-activated networks. In tendon-inspired polymers, sliding collagen-like fibers expose binding domains only after microcracks propagate to a certain depth. It's like pulling apart Velcro. Only once you stretch it enough do the hooks and loops become visible and reconnectable. Once the critical threshold is crossed, the material activates intrinsic repair mechanisms. These may involve the migration of cells, the secretion of extracellular matrix, ECM, or the reformation of physical bonds. In synthetic systems, this often includes reversible covalent bonding or dynamic supramolecular interactions. The healing process is tightly regulated to prevent over-repair or scar-like buildup. Timing is also essential. Faster responses generally improve recovery in dynamic biological environments. Muscle-inspired adhesives recross-link within minutes when the pH drops after tissue injury, reestablishing wet adhesion. It's like a spider spinning silk to patch its web, only when a tear becomes too wide to support its movement. The energy required to activate healing must overcome internal bond dissociation energy and deformation barriers. Materials are engineered to have energy thresholds aligned with expected damage levels. Too low and healing is triggered unnecessarily. Too high and damage remains unhealed. Thermally reversible reactions, like Diels-Alder chemistry, are often used to manage these energetic constraints. Healing can be enhanced by local heat, chemical gradients, or catalytic cues. The balance between healing speed and energy efficiency is vital for practical applications. Self-healing silicones based on reversible crosslinks begin to mend when strain energy exceeds 2J/M2. It's like a safety valve that only opens under high pressure, releasing force just when needed. Water plays a crucial role in self-healing biological systems by enabling diffusion of ions, monomers, or proteins to the damaged site. Hydration also affects polymer flexibility and facilitates reversible bond reformation. Healing typically occurs faster in moist or humid environments due to improved molecular mobility. Many bioinspired materials include hydrophilic domains to replicate this behavior. The healing region acts like a transient gel that reforms into a solid network once repaired. Gelatin methacryloid scaffolds swell and mend faster in hydrated conditions, regaining 90% strength in 2 hours. It's like wet clay filling a crack in pottery, easily shaped and later hardened. Healing speed depends on the material's chemistry, diffusion rates, and external conditions such as temperature or pH. Biological tissues can take hours to days, while synthetic polymers can repair in seconds to minutes. Fast healing is essential for dynamic environments like tendons, skin, or wearable sensors. However, too rapid healing may be mechanically weak, while slower responses can allow further damage. Engineering materials to match natural healing timelines increases functionality and integration. A bioresorbable hydrogel patch heals superficial punctures in under 5 minutes, at 37 DGC due to fast hydrogen bond formation. It's like a self-inflating tire sealant that instantly plugs a puncture before the air escapes. Self-healing efficiency is sensitive to temperature, pH, ionic strength, and UV light. External stimuli can modulate the critical threshold by altering bond dynamics or network mobility. For example, acidic or alkaline shifts can speed up hydrogel reformation or denature healing motifs. Smart materials often incorporate environmental triggers to tune healing on demand. Designing materials for specific physiological or field conditions improves robustness and longevity. A temperature-sensitive elastomer shows 80% recovery at 45 DC, but fails to heal below 15 DC. It's like glue that only becomes sticky when heated. Ambient conditions determine whether it bonds or not. Once healing is initiated, structural remodeling must restore both mechanical strength and functional architecture. This involves recross-linking polymer chains, realigning fibers, or guiding cell migration in biohybrid systems. Successful remodeling allows the material to regain load-bearing capacity and flexibility. Some systems even improve over time, adapting to repeated stress. A mismatch in remodeling can lead to riddleness, permanent defects, or loss of function. Aligned nanofiber scaffolds guide fibroblasts to remodel tissue uniformly along strain directions post-healing. It's like a road crew not only filling a pothole, but repainting the lane lines so the traffic flows smoothly again. Self-healing materials are revolutionizing biomedical devices, soft robotics, and wearable electronics. Future research aims to lower activation thresholds, increase healing speed, and improve long-term stability. Integrating neural-like feedback loops may create materials that learn and adapt from repeated injuries. Biomaterials that mimic stem cell niche behavior could regenerate tissue continuously. The intersection of bioengineering, AI, and smart polymers is opening pathways to self-evolving systems. Self-healing artificial skin for prosthetics integrates conductive polymers and temperature sensors that heal after stretching or abrasion. It's like a lizard's tail, regrowing not just its form, but also nerves and scales. Each time it's lost,